starting your practice, coming down onto your back, taking the feet to the corners of your mat, relaxing from the hips, letting those feet just fall out to the sides. Taking the arms just slightly away from the body, turning your palms up to face the ceiling as you tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. And settle in for a moment, become still. Let your body relax and become heavy. Allow your breath to just move through your nose. And start to let go of the day. Let go of the week. Let go of whatever thoughts linger in your mind as you come to this place of stillness. And as you begin to draw your attention just to the inhales and the exhales, begin to lengthen them, expanding your lungs to their fullest state. Every time you exhale, be sure to empty your lungs completely, squeeze every last bit of air out. And just let those inhales flow into the exhales. Flow back into the inhales and back into the exhales. Just this constant repetition with the breath. And if the Ujjayi breath is a part of your practice, constrict the glottis to narrow the airway and create that soft, almost ocean wave-like sound. Noticing that the body has grown heavier. You've begun to relax. Maybe the mind is a little quieter. And take a moment to scan your body to really check in with how you're feeling, and not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually too. And you can take a moment to set an intention for your practice this evening, thinking about what brought you here onto your mat. Try to phrase your intention in a positive way in your mind. Start to bring a bit of movement to your fingers and your toes, to your ankles and to your wrists, and begin to turn your head ever so slowly from side to side. And as you roll your head back to center, start to slide your legs together now, stretching your arms back over your head. Take a long, deep breath in, make your body as long as it can be, and as you exhale, release the arms down to your sides. Walk your feet towards you, drawing your knees into your chest. Take a gentle grip on the knees or the shins and just start to rock from side to side, massaging your back. Rolling from hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. And as you roll back to center, take the grip now to the back of your thighs. Let your hips pop up off the mat and roll forward and backward along the length of your spine a few times. Keep the chin tucked in as you roll back. Protect your neck. Good. Roll back one more time before coming up to seated, swinging both legs around to one side. Make your way to your hands and your knees. Take those shoulders, stack them over those wrists, opening your hands wide enough that both your feet could fit in between your thumbs. Walk those knees back just underneath those frontal hip bones or back sitting bones, and line up those ankles directly behind those knees. And as you start to really push the earth away from you, begin to grip with the pads of your fingers, lifting through the low belly area. On an inhale, lift the chin and the tailbone up as you open the throat and look up. As you exhale, tuck the tail and the chin, rounding out your back. And inhaling back into cow, make that U shape with the spine. Exhaling into your cat. And continue moving now at the measure of your breath, back and forth. Going a little further each time you come into the pose. Make sure that the creases of your wrists are parallel with the top edges of your mat. Spreading those fingers out as wide as you can. One more time, inhaling into cow. And one last time, exhaling up into your cat before returning back to table. And once you're back in your table pose and you're looking straight down to the ground just ahead of your fingers, wait for your next inhale to send your right leg back and your left arm forward into a spinal balance. So as your leg leaves the ground, we flex the foot, we pull the toes in, and we press the heel away. Try to keep looking straight down so your neck is in line with your spine. Point your thumb up and pinky down, and pull that left shoulder back away from the left ear. Continue to focus on your breathing, trying to lengthen the body as much as you can. Take another inhale, stretch the arm and leg a little longer as you lift them a little higher. As you exhale, lower the hand and lower the knee. Take a breath in and out. And then with your next inhale, the left leg goes back as the right arm floats forward. Pull the shoulder back away from the ear, turning your palm inwards. Push that left heel straight back behind you. Lift your low belly up towards the spine. Imagine someone tugging on your wrist and your ankle, pulling you in two different directions. Keep gripping with those left fingerprints so you're not fatiguing the wrist area. Take another inhale, stretch it out even longer, lift those limbs a bit higher. As you exhale, settle the hand and the knee down. Slide your hands forward a couple inches as you curl your toes under. Shift your shoulders right over top of your wrists, or your first set of knuckles. The toes are tucked. As you inhale, lift your knees just 1 inch off the ground. So we move from table to taking a bit more weight into the hands. Knees are lifted just 1 inch. Continue to puff up the upper back, pressing the space between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling above you. Taking one last inhale, settle your knees back down, untuck your toes, let your big toes come together, sit back into child's pose. And if your head makes it to the ground, it can stay there, arms out in front of you or alongside you. If the head is hanging in space, support your head with your stacked palms or fists. Relax your arms completely wherever they rest. Try to let gravity pull your hips back towards your heels. And then as you reach the arms out in front of you, once again, opening the hands nice and wide, grip with the fingers, pull yourself up to your hands and knees, curl your toes under, and this time, press back to your downward facing dog. And as you come up into downward dog, rise up high onto your toes, lifting your hips as high as you can, pushing your chest way, way back, and then let your heels slowly melt towards the earth. Let your hips now sway side to side. And then bringing your hips back to that center position, look at your feet, make sure they're parallel to one another, big toes slightly turned in. As you bend the left knee, press the right heel a little closer to the ground. And then bending the right knee, try to press the left heel down now. Pressing both heels down at the same time. Draw the shoulders gently back, away from the ears. Inhale, pull yourself forward to plank, top of a push-up. Remembering your plank can be done from the toes as well as from down on the knees, but don't let the space between the shoulder blades collapse. So press that space up towards the ceiling above you. Take an inhale to look slightly ahead and begin to lower as you exhale, elbows hugging your sides, hips come down, tops of the feet down. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Hands are on either side of the chest. Elbows hugging into the sides of the body. Draw the shoulders gently down, away from the ears. Take another inhale, pull that chest forward even further as you exhale. Let your forehead touch down. Curl your toes under. Inhale to the top of a push-up and press back into your downward facing dog. So the thumbs are reaching in and the pinky fingers are stretching out. Let your head just hang heavy. On your next inhale, let your right leg float up behind you, level out your hips, flex the foot, and spread your toes. Push your right heel straight back. Inhale that right leg even higher, and then shoulders forward, knee to chest. Big step up with that right foot. Try to bring it right in between those hands, walking that left foot back a little bit further. Right foot walks out towards the right hand. Press the left leg as straight as you can. Draw the heart forward away from the navel. Draw the navel forward away from the pubic bone. Good. Rising to the fingerprints, pushing the earth away from you. On your next inhale, start to straighten out the right leg, crawling the hands back if necessary to keep shoulders over wrists. And now drawing the right hip back, left hip forward, really roll the weight to that right big toe and inner heel as you start to fold over those legs. Relax your head, stay on your back toes, the ball of the back foot. Feet are still at a hip bone distance width, so 2 fist distance between those heels. Keep pushing into that right big toe. Good. As you inhale, lift the chin, gaze slightly ahead. As you exhale, come back into your low runner's lunge, rebending the knee and bring the heels of the hands back in line with the heel of the foot. Setting your left knee down now on the ground. Untuck those left toes. Now bring the right hand to the right knee, and on an inhale, sweep the left arm up towards the ceiling. Look up and sink your hips down. Straightening out that right arm, so allowing your torso to shift back, shoulders over hips. On your next inhale, see if your right arm can come up alongside the head as well. Pull your shoulders down. Sink your hips down. Relax the face, relax the jaw. Take another inhale, really extend the arms up and back, and then exhale, release your fingers down to the ground. Plant both palms as you curl the left toes under, pick up the left knee, and the right foot joins the left foot. You're at the top of a push-up. Remember, you can do this from the toes or the knees. Toes stay tucked as you inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower slowly down, elbows in, and then inhaling into your cobra. Keep your hips on the ground. Try to let your back muscles do the work here. Pulling the heart forward, stretching those toes back. Take another deep breath in, and with your exhale, forehead touches down, toes tuck, inhale, top of a push-up. Exhale, hips to the sky, downward dog. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the spine. Try to stretch out the back of the legs. Inhale, let your left leg lift slowly up. Hips stay level as you flex the foot. So point your toes and your kneecap straight down to the ground. Inwardly spiral that upper left thigh. Point your left toes straight down. See if you can inhale that left leg just a little higher, and then shoulders forward, knee to chest. Take a big step up with the left foot and try to bring your left foot in between your two hands. Wiggle that right foot back. Making sure your feet are at a hip distance stance. Lift the chest away from the thigh. Draw the shoulders gently back and down, away from the ears. You're still on the back toes. You're still on the pads of your fingers. So stay on the ball of the right foot, and on an inhale, start to straighten out your left leg. Hands can curl back if needed. Now pull the left hip back, try to shift the right hip forward, roll the weight to the inner left foot, and start to fold over those legs. Relax your head, gazing back towards the right big toe. Your right foot is still pointing straight to the top of your mat. Continue to breathe in and out through your nose. Keep pressing into your left big toe. Press into your inner left heel. Don't let the weight all roll to the outside edge of your foot. Good. On your next inhale, lift the chin, look slightly ahead. As you exhale, come back into your runner's lunge, rebending the knee. Lowering the right knee now, untucking the right toes, slide that right leg even further back, and now left hand to the left knee. Inhale, right arm to the sky, and look up. Relax the shoulders down. And as you continue to sink the hips down, wait for the inhale to let the left arm join the right arm. Lift the heart to the sky, open the throat. Relax the jaw. Take another inhale, reach up, stretch back, and exhale, lower the arms down, plant both palms. Curl the back toes as you pick up the right knee, left foot steps back to meet the right. You're at the top of a push-up again. Good. As you inhale, look slightly ahead. As you exhale, lower slowly down, and then inhale, curl into your cobra. Pull that heart forward through those hands. Take another inhale, come up just a tiny bit higher, and then forehead comes down. Tuck the toes. Inhale to plank. Exhale, downward dog. Breathing in and out through your nose. Big toes just slightly turning in. Roll the weight to the inside edges of the feet, just like you're rolling the weight to the inside edges of those palms. And imagine that you could spread those hands apart from one another. Good. Inhale, come up onto the toes, soften the knees as you look forward, and let your feet now both come up in between your hands. And then inhale to a flat back, long spine as you look forward. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, and the arms reach up. As you look up past your thumbs, exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Inhale, arms reach up as you look forward. Lean to your right as you exhale. Inhale to center and over to your left. Inhale, back up, look up, and take the back bend as you exhale. Inhale, back up slowly, reach forward and fold all the way down. Inhale, look out in front of you, lengthening. Plant your palms and step back to the top of a push-up. Breathe through your nose, in and out. Grip with the fingers, press the earth away from you. Good. As you inhale, look slightly ahead and begin to lower with control. Curling into your cobra. Exhale, pause, give a little squeeze between those shoulder blades. Take another deep breath in and lower your forehead down. As you exhale, tuck the toes. Inhale, press up to plank. And lift the hips up, chest back, downward dog. Good. As you inhale, let your right leg lift up slowly, and then take a big step forward with that right foot. Left foot's going to plant on a 45-degree angle now. Square your hips to the top of your yoga mat, and on an inhale, reach your arms up, coming up into Virabhadrasana, Warrior One. So let that right knee come right over top of that right ankle. Pressing into the right big toe and inner right heel, let your knee move ever so slightly to the baby toe edge of the foot. And now press that left leg as straight as you can. Press the whole back edge of that left foot down. Relax the shoulders down. Take another deep breath in, reach really tall. Exhale, bring the hands through to the heart. Turn your chest to the left and open into your Warrior Two. So walk the left foot a little further back. Walk your right heel in to line up with your left arch. Take your arms out to a T now. Drawing the tailbone down, lifting up through the crown. Look down the length of that right arm now. Try not to lean over your right leg. So keep your shoulders over your hips, your ears over your shoulders. Draw back a little through those left fingers. Imagine you could reach back behind you just a little bit. Try to get that right shin perpendicular to the ground. Hug the muscles of your arms in just a little closer to the bone in the upper arm. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. Walk your left foot forward. Come onto the ball of your left foot and square yourself to the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. When you're ready, let your right leg take the weight. Left foot lifts off the ground. Flex it and start to hinge from your hips. Moving slowly into your Warrior Three, keeping your torso in line with that extended left leg. Lots of options with the arms. They can make jet airplane wings. They can come straight out to the sides. They can come up alongside the ears. They can stay at your heart center. Find that place of comfortable discomfort for you. Keep that little squeeze happening between the shoulder blades. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, step that left foot back, plant it flat. Inhale, arms reach up to the ceiling, and then exhale, hands to either side of that right foot, and just step back to your downward dog. And take a moment here, stretch it out, relax. Preparing mentally for that same warrior series on the left side. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left foot forward. Right foot's planting on the 45, and when you're ready, take the arms all the way up. So pulling the right hip forward, we try to shift the left hip back. And as you extend up through the fingers, keep pulling the shoulders down. Keep the sides of the neck long. Let that left knee move towards the baby toe edge of the foot, but really root into the big toe edge of the foot. Keep pressing that right leg as straight as you can. Take another deep breath in, stretch up through the fingers, exhale, hands to the heart, turn to the right. Walking the right foot back, we line up the heel with the arch. Arms come out to a T, shoulders over hips. Now look down the left arm, past the tip of that left middle finger. reaching back slightly with those right fingers. Keep moving that left knee towards the baby toe edge of the foot so that if you were to look down, you could see your big toe there at the inside edge of that left knee. And again, the muscles of the upper arms, they're hugging in towards the bone. Take another full inhale, and as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Right foot starts to walk in. We spin onto the ball of the right foot, and the hands transfer to the hips. Lift off that right foot and begin to hinge into your warrior three. Try to find the same arm position as you did on the right side as you come into your warrior three on the left side. Trying to keep your ears in line with your shoulders, in line with your hips, in line with your right ankle. Keep that little squeeze happening between the shoulder blades. Take another full deep breath in. As you exhale, step the right foot way back. As you inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to either side of your left foot and step back to your downward dog. And breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale onto the toes, soft knees as you look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, fold over those legs. Inhale, and the arms reach up as you look up. Palms come together and your hands come down to your heart. Look forward as you inhale, arms reach up. And take a side bend to your right as you exhale. Inhaling to center. And then over to the left. Inhale, back up, look up, and lean back as you exhale. Inhale, come all the way up, reach forward and fold all the way down. Look out in front of you as you inhale, a little squeeze between the blades, and then plant your palms and step back to the top of a push-up. So we're gonna come into a side plank. You have the option of being on your right knee or staying with a straight right leg. If you have a straight right leg, you're stacking the feet. If you're on the right knee, the left foot is going to plant behind the right foot. Make sure your right hand is in line with your knee as you take your left arm straight up in the air. So you can look out to the left or up towards that left thumb. Turn your left palm forward now and take the arm over the ear. Keep the shoulders relaxed and down. And try to spiral your chest open to the left. Keep pressing the earth away from you through that right hand, and on an inhale, take your left arm up to the ceiling, look down to the earth, and come back to the top of a push-up. Press back to down dog for a moment. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So inhale, come forward to plank. And move into your left side. Gripping with those left fingers. Try to line everything up. If you're on the knee, line up the knee and the ankle and the arch. Rotate the right palm forward. Take the arm over the ear. If you're working with a straight left leg and right leg, the feet are on top of one another and flexed. Lifting that left hip away from the ground. On an inhale, the right arm reaches up. As you look down, set the hand down, widen the hands back to shoulder distance before pressing back to down dog. Inhale, come forward to the top of a push-up. Exhale, lowering with control. Clasp the hands behind the back, squeeze the blades together, Inhale, send the chin forward as you lift through the back of the head. So go for extension and length through the arms rather than height. So you're just going to lift the hands about an inch away from the body. Stretch your knuckles towards your heels. And if it's within your ability, lift both legs off the ground as well. Stretch your toes back. See if you can inhale, come up just a bit higher, and then exhale, forehead touches, hands beside the chest, tuck your toes. Inhale, press back up to plank, and push back to your downward dog. And take a moment here to observe the body and observe the breath, slowing that breath if needed. Inhale, let your right leg lift slowly up. Big step forward with your right foot. So you're going to walk your hands around to the left now. You can back up on your mat if you'd like, so your heels are right at the back of the mat. Inhale, look out in front of you. Lean a bit of weight into your toes, and as you exhale, start to plant your palms at a shoulder distance width and start to walk your hands back. Try to keep your feet pigeon-toed, so your big toes are turned in, your heels are slid out, keeping those hands at a shoulder distance width. Pull yourself down to your furthest place. Now keep your elbows hugging into a shoulder distance width as well. Imagining that you could pull the crown of your head right to the space in between your palms. Imagining eventually that your feet and your hands and the top of your head would all be in a line. And if you eventually get to the point where your head is on the floor and it is in between your hands, make sure that your head is in between your feet as well. The option is there to walk the hands back even further. Letting your hands and your head then take the weight. Maybe the ability is there to come up onto your tiptoes, taking more weight into the arms, getting light in the feet. Maybe eventually those legs could float up. Find your edge. Find that place of comfortable discomfort. Good. So as you inhale, start to walk those hands forward, come up to your fingerprints, walk back around to the top of your mat. Turning your right toes out as you go, spin onto the ball of your left foot. Bringing your right hand to the outside edge of that right foot, we're going to take a big step forward with the left foot and adjust the feet to a hip distance width. Bind your big toes with your first two fingers and your thumbs and look forward as you inhale. Lean a bit of weight into the toes. Start to pull yourself down as you exhale. Relax your head. Pull up on your toes with your hands and push your toes firmly into your fingers now. Shoulders pull back and down away from the ears. Good. As you inhale, look forward. As you exhale, release the toes, heel toe the feet together as you plant the palms and step back to the top of a push-up. Looking forward as you inhale, lower all the way down to your belly and your forehead as you exhale. Bending your knees, reach for the tops of your feet with your hands. Take a grip on the tops of the feet as you bring the thighs back together. Spread your toes. Push your feet into your hands. Pull on the feet and then inhale. Send the chin forward. Lift through the back of the head. Pick your thighs up off the ground and try to bring your toes towards the ceiling above you. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep pushing the feet into the hands. Keep pulling on the feet as well. Take one more inhale, lift everything up and lower as you exhale. Release the feet. Hands beside the chest as you tuck your toes. Inhale to plank. Exhale to down dog. Hold and breathe. Take your left foot in between your hands now and walk your hands around to the right. Adjust to the back of your mat with your heels. Give yourself a little space in front of you. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, take a grip on your big toes with your first two fingers and your thumbs. And now lean a bit of weight into your toes and let your hips come forward in line with your ankles. Lengthen the spine on the inhale. Begin to pull yourself down as you exhale. Elbows bend. Activate the biceps. Pulling up on the toes with the hands. Pushing those toes into those fingers. Try to let those hips come forward in line with those ankles. Imagine you could pull yourself right through those legs. Good. Inhale, look forward, come up to a flat back. Release those big toes. Start to come back around to the top of your yoga mat. Left toes turning out. Plant your left hand on the outside edge of that left foot and pick your left foot up. Step it back to meet the right. Press back into your down dog for a moment. Setting your knees down, untucking your toes. Bring your big toes together. Sit back on the heels and take your knees as wide as your mat. Relax down onto your forearms. And as you come down onto your forearms, let your head just hang heavy, looking back behind you. Make sure your big toes are still together. Staying on those forearms, do you have the ability to take the knees a little wider apart now? Keep pushing the hips back towards the heels. Let your head just hang down now. And breathe into the hips, the inner thighs, and the muscles deep within the groin as you slowly open up the body. Maybe those knees can go just a little wider. Find your edge. Good. As you inhale, let the chin come up and away from the chest. As you exhale, come from your forearms now back up onto your palms, walking the hands in. Bring your knees in and measure the distance between them to be 2 fist distance wide. Hands wrap around the upper arms just above the elbows, as far around as they'll go. And then we're going to set the elbows down on the ground, crawling them forward away from the knees so that your knees are now underneath your hips and your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Make a fist with your hands. Glue those forearms down as you relax your head and tuck your toes and come up onto those toes, lifting the knees off the ground, pushing the chest back. So you're in down dog, but on your forearms. So your fingers are interlaced and you've made a big fist with both hands together. Inhale, shift the hips forward. Chin comes past those fists. Exhale, press everything back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, press it back. If you're finding it difficult from the toes, try it from the knees. Building strength in the upper body. Work to your edge. See if you can do 2 more dolphins. When you're done that second one, take it back into a child's pose. Setting the knees down, setting the forehead down, either on your hands or on the mat. If your head is on the mat, the arms can be back alongside you or relaxed out in front of you. And just breathe. Hands to either side of your head, press into the palms as you straighten the arms. Remeasure the distance between the knees, same as we did, 2 fist distance wide. Remeasure those arms again, hands wrapping around them. Elbows to the floor, crawl them forward, away from the knees, about the length of your torso. And now interlace your fingers, but make a basket instead of a fist. So your thumbs are pointing up. There's a little semicircle there inside the hands. Your head is going to come to rest on the floor so that your hands now gently cup the back of your head. So interlace your fingers. Press down into your forearms with as much might as you have and draw the shoulders gently back away from your ears. So Sheila, bring your elbows in for me again. Try not to let them go so wide. So wrapping right around, good. You don't have to put any weight on it. You can stay right there, but just keeping those elbows in at a shoulder distance width. Some of you have a half headstand practice where you're curling the toes, lifting the knees, walking the feet in, keeping your toes on the ground. Some of you have the ability to bring one knee into the chest, holding that little half tuck. Maybe you set that foot down and bring the other knee into the chest. Some of you have the ability to bring both knees into the chest. Some of you may be just staying on your knees with your head resting on the ground, letting that blood flow come to the brain, to the face. Keep that low belly drawn back towards the spine, especially those of you coming up into full headstand. Keep that belly pulled in. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. If you're in your headstand, let your knees bend, heels towards the buttocks, and then start to draw your knees into your chest. Gently touch your toes down to the ground, walking your feet back to set your knees down on the ground. Sink your hips back to your heels. Big toes touch. Relax in child's pose. Resting closer to your hairline there on your forehead than you would be to the bridge of your nose. Relax. Good. Place your hands on either side of your head, slowly pressing yourself up. Sit over to one side, let your legs come around, and with your heels all the way up at the top of your mat, lie down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest, hug them in with your hands, and just rock from side to side. Moving from the king of all asanas, Shirshasana, to the queen of all asanas, Salamba Sarvangasana. So your first option would be, as you come back to center, arms beside you, legs up in the air. Maybe your legs and arms up in the air. Maybe you can keep the arms alongside you, pop your hips up off the mat, and drop the legs over your face, planting your hands on your back. Come up into shoulder stands. So we have lots of different options and lots of different bodies today. And maybe it's been a really long week and the body is fatigued. Maybe just taking the legs up is enough tonight. So listen to your body very intently. Don't push it past your edge. If you are in shoulder stand, you're trying to bring your pinky fingers in to either side of your spine, so that your elbows can come in as much to a shoulder distance width as possible. Do you have the ability to go a little further? Can you cross your legs at your ankles? So just cross the legs. Keep the legs straight, squeeze the legs together, try to bring your toes closer to the ceiling, and maybe you can walk your hands a little higher up the back towards the shoulder blades, and then uncross the legs and relax them again. Take your legs and open them up wide apart, keeping your ankles in line with your hips. Push out through your heels. Sorry if you're close to a wall. Maybe just go to your furthest edge. You can also do splits in both directions if that's more accessible. If you do splits in both directions, come back to center. Let's come into Baddha Konasana in our shoulder stand. So soles of the feet together, knees opening out to the sides, heels over the perineum, toes straight up in the air. Good. Take it back up into shoulder stand. On an inhale, legs come up in the air, and then slowly lower your legs over your face. Try to keep your hands on your back as your legs come down. If and when your toes touch the floor behind the head, see if you can walk the feet a little closer to the back of the head, pressing the backs of the knees open. And if your feet are on the ground, your palms can come on the ground as well. Just a couple more breaths in plow, halasana. And then your hands are gonna rest on your yoga mat. Use the strength of your core to keep the legs where they are. Push into your palms and start to slowly lower your upper back down to the ground. Keep your legs straight. Keep your head on the ground as you lower through the mid back and the low back. And once the low back is down, push the soles of your feet up towards the ceiling. Take another deep breath in. And exhale, begin to lower both your legs towards the ground, pushing your heels away as the legs descend. And once those heels touch down, walk your feet towards your hands, line up your heels with your sitting bones. Tuck the tail, press the back of the neck gently down towards the ground, and inhale, come up into your bridge pose. So your knees are over your ankles. Your ankles are at a hip distance width. Try not to let your knees splay apart. Walk your hands a little closer towards one another. Some of you might be able to clasp the hands, climbing a little bit higher up onto those triceps, up onto those shoulders. Squeeze between the blades and push your heart towards your chin. Press down through your big toes and your inner heels and take one more inhale. Rise to the toes. Take the arms just out from under you and start to lower your upper back down to the ground. Then your mid back and low back come down. Draw your knees very loosely into your chest. Hug them in with your hands and just rock from side to side. Good. As you roll back to center, go ahead and extend your legs straight out in front of you, arms down by the sides. Slowly lift one hip at a time off the ground so you can take your arms right underneath your body as we prepare for Matsyasana, our fish. So try to go thumb next to thumb. Bring your elbows as close to one another as you can and try to walk your hands a little bit down the backs of those legs as you puff up the chest a bit. And now pointing through the feet, but spreading your toes. Inhale, lift the head, lift the shoulders, look at the belly, push your heart right up to the ceiling, and then relax your head slowly back. And just let the top of the head rest lightly on your mat. Keep spreading your toes as you lift the heart up to the sky. Let the throat open up. Let that chest open up as you breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. One more inhale, right up to the top. Exhale, let all that air go slowly. And now inhale, lift the head just enough to clear the earth. Lower your back. Set your head down. Take your arms out from under you. So you're going to interlace your fingers, and without using your neck muscles at all, bring your hands up over your head and just slide your hands underneath your head so your head is sitting heavy in those palms. Now take your arms and let them just hug into the side of the head so your elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then using just the strength of your arms, pick your head up and try to bring your chin toward your chest. And let that head just be heavy in those hands. Let your head turn to the right and come back and turn to the left and come back. Inhale, lift it a little higher. Exhale, slowly release the head down just before it touches. Slide the hands out. Relax the arms down by your sides. Good. Walk your feet towards the body. Bring your arms to a T or out into cactus, depending on how close you are to the wall beside you. Pick your hips up and just take them a little bit over to the left as you turn your head all the way to the left. Your feet are on the ground still. So bring your feet to the ground. All we've done is move the hips to the left. Good. Pick up your left leg, cross it over your right leg, knee over knee. So the head is still turned to the left. Take a deep breath in and start to melt both your legs slowly over to the right, letting your hips turn to the right. And if having your legs crossed is too intense of a twist, simply uncross that left leg and stack the ankles and knees instead. Closing the eyes. Try to keep both your shoulders heavy on the earth as you breathe in and out. Really taking advantage of the left side of the chest being so open and so exposed right now. Really fill up that left lung. On your next inhale, let your head and your knees slowly come up. Uncross your legs and just let your hips come back to center. Now we're going to take the hips a little bit over to the right, turn the head to the right and cross that right knee over the left knee. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, begin to melt those legs over to the left without lifting the right shoulder. And again, if it's too intense, simply uncross the legs and stack them instead. Close your eyes and breathe deeply into the right lung, that whole right side of the chest opening up. As you breathe out and the belly pulls gently in towards the spine, feel that massage and manipulation on the low left side of the abdomen. Just breathe as deeply as you can right now. Let go of as much tension as you can with every exhale. On your next inhalation, let your head and your knees come up. Uncross the legs, shift your hips back to center. Keep your arms just as they are. Let your knees come into your chest. Lift the heels up a little bit so that your ankles are up at the height of your knees, and take another deep breath in. Let both knees come over to the right as you turn your head to the left, but hover your legs right now off the ground. Flex the feet. Press into both arms, and as you inhale, head and knees to center. And now legs drift left, head turns to the right. Hover the legs, squeeze them together. Pressing into both arms, let's inhale, come up. And now we move. Exhale, legs right, head left. Inhale to center. And then exhale, legs left and head right. Inhale to come up. Take your legs all the way to the right this time, head to the left, and before your left shoulder lifts, set your feet down. And just soften. And relax. And melt. And you might find after you've taken a few deep breaths that the ability is there to squeeze the knees in a little closer to the chest or closer to that right arm. Maybe you want to add the weight of your right arm, reaching for the outside of that left knee or thigh. Without pushing too much, let the weight of the arm deepen the stretch for you. The chest is still facing up towards the ceiling, and the head is turned to the left as much as possible. Take another really long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, let all the air go. Both arms down on the ground as you flex the feet. Inhale to center. Exhale, change sides. Don't let the right shoulder lift as you set the feet down. Take a breath or two. Let the body have time to adjust and soften. And after a few deep breaths, maybe the knees can come in a little tighter. Maybe you're reaching for the outside of that right knee with the left hand, encouraging it down without force. The right shoulder and your entire upper back rest heavy. Relax and breathe. Letting go of residual tension lingering within your physical body every time you exhale. One last deep breath comes in. Exhale, squeeze all of that air out, both arms pressing down. Inhale to center. Reach for the knees with the hands, rock side to side. And as you roll to center, squeeze the knees in a little tighter, draw the forehead up towards your knees. Wrap the arms, if you can, more tightly around those legs. Scrunch up your face, scrunch up the toes. Take one last inhale, every muscle engaging as tight as can be, and then relax. And make yourself ready for Shavasana. What do you need? A bolster, a blanket, a pillow over the eyes, extra clothing you need to put on, or maybe you're good just as you are. Try to make the body very symmetrical. Shoulder blades are tucked, arms and legs extended down and away from you on the same diagonal line. Separate your back teeth, relax the jaw, and let the tip of the tongue rest there just behind the top front teeth. And as you let the rest of your tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth, start to relax through the throat and let the breath become quiet and soft and more natural. Letting go of the world around you, start to focus your attention inwards. Direct the mind inwards. Letting everything else go. Just allowing yourself this time of stillness, this time of quiet, to absorb the practice that you just completed. Replenishing energy, releasing fatigue. Relax. Relax. Let the breath come back, slower and deeper once again. And just start to bring some movement to your fingers and your toes, to your wrists and to your ankles. And let your head just start to roll very slowly side to side. Waking up this physical body. Bring your head to center, slide your legs together. And stretch your arms all the way back and over your head, taking a deep breath in, lengthen the body as much as you can, and then let your arms slowly melt back down to your sides. And draw your knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. And eventually rolling over onto your right side and pausing here in this fetal position. This posture of new beginnings. This posture of fresh starts and rebirth. Thanking yourself for this gift of yoga at the end of your day, maybe the end of your week. Sending a silent thank you out to those who came to join you tonight. And I thank you for allowing me to share these teachings with you. When you're ready, push into your left palm, pressing down through that right arm, nice and slow. Come up to seated. And as you do, sit tall and elongate your spine. Stack your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. And bring your hands together at your heart center, ending our practice with the chanting of Om. Take a deep breath in. I honor that place in you where the entire universe resides, that place of love, of light, of truth, and of peace. And when you reside in that place in you, and I reside in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. Happy Friday. Thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks for sharing some of your birthday festivities with us, Rachel.